Summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime. Honey, so.
Hi there, Sagittarius. Yeah, this is the Sagittarius report. So if you're not Sagittarius, I strongly recommend that you find your sign. This is your modern shaman, Maria, and RainbowLand. You just go to my channel if you want to find your sign. And this is the weekly heartful forecast for the week that starts at the 28th of August and ends at the 5th of September 2018. And every week I do 7 signs of the week for every sign. And this week we start with sign number 1. First sign of the week, Sagittarius, is all about the sun. The sun in Virgo, in Earth sign. And the sun in Virgo for you is your 10th house. And it has something to do, the reason why I picked this one for sign number 1 is because of the grand trine that it made last week, which is still lingering this week, between Saturn and Uranus. In Capricorn and Taurus, the 3 earth signs are connected, and still are a little bit, with the sun in Virgo, in your 10th, with Saturn in your 2nd house, with Uranus in your 6th house. We are talking about your career, your resources, your work situation, your day-to-day life, and how to manifest what it is that you really, really want. And I take this trine and I take this as my first sign with the sun in Virgo, because this opportunity, as I said last week, does not come around every day. We have to take advantage of it. So any sign, any person, any people coming into your life, waving some kind of flag or giving you a signal that here is something you have to look at and do something about, I strongly recommend that you do. It's very, very important to take advantage of the things showing up right now, Sag. Especially because I think you so deserve it. With all these things having been going on in your 2nd house of resources with Pluto there. You know, since 2007, you really, it's time for you to manifest what you want so that you can build these resources. So that you don't feel like you're being suddenly drained every other year by Pluto changing something within your finances or something like that. So take advantage of the sun now in your 10th house, your career house, to show us all what it is that you can, and to show and shine, you know, let your head be the sun, and the rays of sun being sprayed all upon all the rest of us, so that we want to give you money for what it is that you do. And Saturn and Uranus retrograding there in your 6th house is looking over what you did for your health. And what you did in your daily life to improve your work situation in general. Hope it is going very well for you. Second sign of the week is Mercury moving forward in Leo, in your 9th house, your natural house. It also did last week, since the 19th. It was moving forward to the beginning of August, then it moved backwards, retrograding. Then it moved forward again on the 19th. So it moved forward, until this point, moved backward, until this point, and then forward again. It crosses this point on the 2nd of September. This means that as it moves forward at the beginning of this week, and my week starts from Tuesday to Wednesday, 8-day period, because I want to catch the whole world into these reports. So at the beginning of the week, it passes a place it already was 2 times for the 3rd time. This means that you have a new way, a new perspective of the things the 3rd time it passes, Mercury passes. You have a new vision of how to communicate things or think about things as you expand your horizon, your mind, and you learn new things about life that you need to learn and probably also need to use in your career. And this also reflects the communication you have with other people, which is probably already now way nicer, and you can see it reflected also in the world around you, that all other people also find it easier to communicate now. And when it's out of the actual shadow phase, which in Danish called the bow tie, not shadow, a little heavy, on the 2nd of September, it's moving into new territory. So here it's definitely going to give you some new inspirations and, you know, new optimism and new urge to move forward. That was the second sign of the week. The third sign of the week is Venus in Libra, where she is at home and feels so good in your 11th house. This is where you connect with other people, with your friend, and you network, and you also are in contact with the different groups you're a part of. You plan your future, think about the future, how can it look, etc. But it's interrupted by Pluto up there in your 2nd house of Capricorn. By square, of course, 90-degree angle. Usually they are not that easy, you know. They usually signify some kind of obstacle, but in this case, with a benefic involved, being Venus, that brings good things in, but also it's the planet of our resources, since we're talking Pluto in your 2nd house, but also relationships. It's something to do, perhaps, with you learning, and all of us actually learning, to improve the way we are in our relationships. Pluto is wanting to transform something up there in your 2nd house. Pluto wants you to look upon your resources in another way, and maybe it's also the resources you know, your self-esteem and the resources, your inner resources that you have when you communicate with other people. 11th house, communication, and when you plan things. Pluto is wanting you to be realistic in these plannings up there in Capricorn, the sign of realism. It's wanting to transform you so that you see more realistically upon things, and wants to transform you on such a deep level that it has to make you get rid of the fears you have in regards to your resources, and also in regards to other people and how you communicate with them, how you network. Is there a new way you could do things? Could you use your intuition to tell you what it is? Or do you already feel it as the week gets closer, going, and we get closer and closer to this aspect? You'll probably feel some sign within you what it is. And you probably already know by now what it is that you have to improve within your relationships in general, because we have to know that the world, the outside world, is just a reflection of us and our energy. So if something comes towards you, it's life actually showing you something going on inside you as well. So it doesn't help you to scream and shout and just try to battle with whoever comes with the information. Look for the information, because anyone who shows up is a teacher for you. So look for the information that they have to give you instead of going in a clinch with them. Sign number 4 this week is the moon. The moon moves through Aries. Your 5th house. Yay, this week. And remember, week starts Tuesday, ends Wednesday. Moon is a little more than 2 days in each sign. So it starts in Aries. But let me first mention one thing. Last week we had a full moon in Pisces in your 4th house of foundation, inner child, personal life, feelings, emotions, home, family. And every time we have a full moon, we have that once a year in Pisces and once a year in each sign. It was preceded by a new moon in the same sign half a year earlier. This means that whatever you started to try to improve and put your work and focus and attention upon within this area of your life that I just mentioned, your 4th house, this is going to be the result and the culmination of whatever effort you did in this field. So if you didn't do anything to improve it, you won't see something there. It's spiritual for you guys, so it's important. If you did put an effort, if you did your meditation, if you did try to improve how you relate to the people you live with, or your own personal emotions, you listened to your intuition, you followed it, etc., then you'll benefit from it. If you didn't, life will lift its finger and say, hey, try to look upon this. You need to do your daily meditations or whatever, walks in nature, purging of whatever clutter is in your emotional sphere, is in your mental sphere. But the moon moves through Aries, starts at the beginning of my week, Tuesday, where it ignites your lust of being romantic, or lust is not the word, your desire to be romantic with your partner, or have connections with your children, or children in general. Be creative, you know, following your heart. In general, you know, doing something for your own business if you have your own business. And then it is also squaring the stuff going on in your second house. So it might be that there's something, some Saturnian figure saying something about your finances. You cannot spend all that money on movies and Tivoli. You have to be, or maybe it's just your Pluto again wanting to transform your relationship with your resources and your money and self-esteem in a better way. Anyways, there's some tension there, reigniting as well. Then it goes through Taurus, where it meets up with Uranus in your 6th house, maybe a new idea about how you can improve your health. Can also be other things. Goes through Gemini. Gemini must be your 7th house, of course, of relationships. So maybe, you know, there's a focus upon you being with other people, interacting with other people, and ends up in Cancer, your 8th house, at the end of my week. But there's so much I could say about that, but I don't want to make this 10 kilometers long. So let's just go, also because I'm actually doing all the reports in Spanish now as well. So I have 24 reports every week that I do for free for people. Anyways, we move on to sign number 5 this week. It's Mars, and Mars is moving directly, yes, in Capricorn. It's my planet, that's why I'm yes-ing it. So Mars direct in Capricorn is in your 2nd house again. So it's all about your 2nd house. Things starts moving forward. Yeah, we love that. But it's not always just, you know, a walk in the park with Mars in this degree, because these degrees at the last degrees of Capricorn, these are the critical degrees of any sign, actually, the last degree is. So, and it's also just that, as I said before, a planet moves forward, retrograde forward, so it has this phase, it moves over 3 times. So of course, in this case, it's also something to do with you looking over something again in a new light, and being more assertive this time to try to improve it and have more energy and oomph to move forward with it. Even though there may be something it has to get over. Sign number 6 of the week is the tarot card of the week. And since I started with Aries and it kept raining, also with Taurus, I sat outside in the beautiful nature. I chose to draw all the cards inside so that I wouldn't destroy my tarot deck. So I already drew your card, and it's the Chariot. It is one of my favorite cards, actually, because it's signifying you moving forward and you having the strength to do so if you make the right choices. You have the Sphinx here symbolizing the different, how can I say this, possibilities, and also, you know, temptations along the way. There are other ways to interpret this card, but today I'm going to do it this way. So it's you overcoming some obstacles, but not without challenges. You are moving the wagon forward in the direction that you know you're supposed to go. So you keep a balance between not falling into the traps of seduction or being seduced by something that tastes good, looks good, whatever comes your way that may lead you astray. You keep the wagon and focus drive in the right direction, and you will reach your goal within a certain amount of time if you're patient. Saturn, he wants you to be patient. Then we have sign number 7 of the week, and that is this week. It is the theme of the week. I'm not acting any of the signs this week. I'm just having a very important message that many people know is perhaps the most important message of them all. For any of you that bought The Secret, and all the different movies that came out in the zeros, what do you call them in English? In the beginning of the last decade. At the beginning of the last decade. Oh no, at the middle of the last decade. No, but many books came before, actually, in the late 90s about this subject. It's about the law of attraction. What we think, this is a theme of the week, what we think, feel, and say is the life that we manifest. Why do we always forget? Why? Dios mío. Tenemos que recordar. We have to remember this. And how do we remember so we don't fall in the same traps of not speaking the truth of our hearts, of not thinking what we actually want to think of, stemming from the heart, of not feeling and being in the states that we want to create for ourselves and for others. We need to lift our consciousness. Sorry, I just spoke so much Spanish. We need to do that, and how can we alter this and be more aware, raise awareness? We can do that by meditating and by walking in nature, by clearing our minds from all the BS information, all the lies from the medias, all the lies from the politicians, and from all the commercials that want you to think that you need their products. All the schools that teach us how to manipulate to get what we want, as if it was a victory to be able to manipulate people. We live in a world full of lies where people are accustomed to say lies. Try it when you walk the street or watch television next time and talk to people, to feel what are they actually saying behind the words. How many people are telling you what they actually feel in their hearts? Try to listen to their hearts instead. And try also to listen to your own heart and express it. That's my task of the week for you. Again, also consciousness. Be conscious about what you think and say, and choose, so that the chariot, the wagon, can drive on that path that you actually want from the depth of your heart. Don't follow trends. Follow your heart. Thanks for watching. See you next week, Sagittarius. Please feel free to make any comments. I love that. See you.
Easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever. All the way eternity. Set you free to be loved. Oh, my love. Oh, feeling Summertime. Så du er min, og jeg er vild med